Hi, my name's Poppy and I'm a speech and language therapist working with Evelina London Children's Community Speech and Language Therapy team. Welcome back to another School Talk video. This week's video is going to be about checking in with children's understanding and comprehension of spoken language, so spoken instructions and information. The video is going to be aimed at children who are around that sort of Key Stage 2 age, so sort of year 3 to year 6. If your child isn't within that age range, then don't worry, we post videos every week. So have a look on our page to see if there's any videos that we've already posted or any of our upcoming videos might be for your child's age. So let's get on with what we are going to be doing today. So as always, I'm going to be using a visual timetable just to show you how easy they are really to implement and to try and encourage adults to use them with children. So first, I'm going to carry on with our introduction. Next, I'm going to be going through my tip of the week. Then we're going to be doing a bit of an activity, which today is going to be a game called True or Silly. And then we'll be doing a bit of a summary and goodbye. This one has a mixture of pictures and writing, but if you try to use one yourself, you can do pictures, writing. It can really be as simple as this one here. So, carrying on with our introduction. So the reason that we are going to be talking a little bit about checking in with understanding of spoken language is because for some children, especially if they have a language difficulty, understanding spoken information can be really hard. And that can mean that they don't always understand instructions or they don't always understand the information that we're giving to them. And so it's really helpful for us as adults to check in and make sure that they're understanding things that we're saying to them, basically. Children within that Key Stage 2 age range that we're really focusing on today may not have developed that awareness of when they have or haven't understood something fully. So you might give them an instruction and they might think that they've understood it, but they've not actually understood it. So they won't ask you for help because they don't realise that they've not quite understood it properly. So for example, you might say, or a teacher in a classroom might say, before you go to lunch, you need to put your book away. And a child might misunderstand, and instead of putting their book away, they just go straight to lunch. And it's not that they weren't listening, it's that they just didn't fully understand the instruction that was given to them, and they weren't aware that they didn't quite fully grasp everything that was being asked of them. So that's kind of an example of a situation where things like this can occur and where us as adults checking in is really helpful. So that leads me quite nicely on to our tip of the week. So this is our second thing for today. So kind of linking to that theme of regularly checking in with children around their understanding and comprehension of things that we've said to them, whether that's instructions or just information. I'm going to be sharing some ways of checking a child has understood to give you some ideas of how you might be able to implement it in your day-to-day life or in the classroom, if you're a teacher or a parent. So the first thing you can do is to ask the child to explain back to you what you've asked them or told them in their own words. So you could ask questions like, can you just tell me again what I've asked you to do? And you can use that as a way to really gauge how much they've remembered from what you've said to them, and also just to kind of see what they've processed from it. The other way you can check with understanding is to ask them to show you, and this is quite a good one because it doesn't require them to use any talking. So it could be things like, can you just point to where I've asked you to go next? Or can you just show me what I've asked you to put in your lunchbox? Just to kind of sort of see if they've fully understood. And again, that's a really nice quick one, doesn't require them to say anything, and they can just point or show them or show you. And the other way that we can check in with understanding is to use our WH questions, so who, what, where, why and when. And this is really useful, especially for if we've kind of given them longer bits of information. So say you might have just kind of told a child all about what they're going to be doing that day, and then just to sort of see how much they've understood or remembered from what you've said to them, you might say, oh, where did I say we were going this afternoon? Or who did I say was coming over this morning? Just to kind of check in with how much they've understood. And yeah, that one's particularly useful if you've given them kind of a bit of a longer chunk of information, just to see if they've been able to pick up the key parts and really understand it. So those are my 3 ways of checking in with child understanding. And as I said, it's really recommended to try and do that regularly, particularly if we know a child has difficulties with understanding spoken information. It's really helpful if us as adults are just kind of checking in just to see how much they've understood and if they need any help. So that is our tip of the week finished. Next, we are going to be, I'm going to be sharing a bit of an activity or a game called True or Silly with you. So you won't need anything for this game. You might want to grab a pen and paper just to jot some things down, but you can play this game pretty much without any resources at all, which is ideal. So the aim of the game is for children to decide if statements are true or if they're silly. So I have a list of statements here that you might want to screenshot or note down. Hopefully you should be able to see all of those. Fab. So the first thing that the adult is going to do is to read out the statement or any statement to the child or the children, however many you've got playing with you. And the next thing is for the child to decide if they think it's true or if it's silly. So on this list, we have some that are true and some that are silly. So for example, the sun is hot is obviously true, but the fish can ride bicycles, silly. So the adult reads out their statement. So it could be cows live in the sky. And then the child or children say if they think that statement is true or if they think it's silly. They can do it out loud. They can use thumbs up for true, thumbs down for silly. They can write it on whiteboards, whatever kind of is easiest for the setting that you're in. The next thing that you're going to do before you tell them if they've got the answer right or wrong is just to check why or how they know it's true or how they know it's silly. So, you said it's silly. Which bit of that statement is silly? So if we're thinking about our cows live in the sky statement, so, which bit about cows live in the sky is silly? And kind of encouraging the child or children to think about which bit is kind of the bit that's wrong, and I guess fix it as well if they can. So for example, cows don't live in the sky, they live in fields or they live in barns, or sort of kind of getting just to sort of really checking if they've grasped which bit is wrong in that statement. And that also just makes sure that they've not guessed their answer as well, because they've obviously got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. So that's just a way that we can make sure that they're not just guessing. Some children might find it a little bit tricky. So if you want to make it a bit easier for them, when you're giving the statement, you could draw pictures to go alongside it, or you can do just like actions. So for example, again, cows live in the sky. You could do cows live in the sky when you're giving the statement, just to kind of help them with that understanding if you want to kind of make it a little bit easier for them. Obviously, once they've told you why they think it's true or why they think it's silly or how they know it, then you can tell them if they've gotten it right or wrong. And you can play this game for pretty much however long you want to play it for. It's a really easy, quick game as well. So you could literally play it for 5 minutes on the way to school. You could play it for 5 minutes in the car. It doesn't have to take up lots of time. And you can also keep track of points and scores and things like that if you want to as well. So that is our game for this week. I hope you have fun trying that out at home or in school. So all that we have left to do today is a bit of a summary and goodbye. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's School Talk video. Feel free to rewatch it at any point. If you have any questions or queries at all, please go to our website because you might find that your questions are answered on there. The website address is on this Facebook page, but if you do need it, then it is www.evelina.nhs.uk/community speech and language. And as I said, you can also find that address on this Facebook page as well. If you can't find the answer to your question on the website, then feel free to email us and somebody will get back to you. The email address you're going to need is gst-tr.contactslt@nhs.net. Thank you very much for watching this week's School Talk video. We'll be posting another video next week, so do check back in on the page to see what the next video is going to be, and feel free to rewatch this video at any time. Goodbye.